early on, what we've seen is a number of civil society organizations, as well as Trade Union Federation, Cosatu, as well as SABC, coming together in front of that venue where you are to hand over memorandum. This, of course, ahead of that medium-term policy statement. I'm joined now by Cosatu's Provincial Secretary, Malvern De Bruyn. Malvern, in your memorandum, you're calling for an end to anti-poor economic policies. You're also calling on the Finance Minister to make sure that basic commodities like fuel, electricity and foodstuffs, the prices are controlled, because you say that the working class people of South Africa are suffering.
Yes, correct. Yeah, that's our demands. And we ask once again to the Minister of Finance to give us a pro-worker budget, a pro-poor budget, so that we as workers on the ground can see what government is really doing for us. Because what we've seen over these years is austerity budgets where we have cuts in prices, high prices in petrol, high prices in food, etc. They even cut the budget of education, and now more than 2,000 workers will be affected in this province. They cut the budget of the CCMA, while our workers, the poor, are now affected. Workers have to wait now up to 6 months for a case to be finalized. So we are suffering all the time, and they don't see it. They will tell us today that they don't have enough money in the first case to do that, but they have the bloated cabinet. Why, if they have money to have a bloated cabinet, why can't they have money for the poor of the poor?
So when you talk about a pro-poor budget, what are you talking about? And when you talk about an end to anti-poor economic policies, which policies should be adopted instead?
What we are saying is that when it comes to a pro-worker, is that look what's happening. A worker that goes to work spend almost 40% of their money to go to work, and then they left with the 60%, and that only lasts for 2 to 3 days. What we are saying is that why can't they regulate the fuel prices and have fuel prices that and bring it down to at least an affordable rate? Why can't they have no VAT on food stuff that worker did every day, so they can work on those core issues, create more jobs? If they create more jobs, then it means they don't need to pay those SAR grants and those other benefits. People are employed, so they can do that, create more jobs, then people don't have to depend on those grants. And I think those are the 3 issues that they can do.
You handed over your memorandum to the DDG. You are expecting a reply in 14 days. What is the plan of action following that 14 days?
We'll wait 14 days and see whether they've replied. If they replied and we're not happy with the response, we'll have to discuss our next step. If they don't reply within 14 days, we'll come back in our numbers and have a sit-in wherever we have to go to ensure that they give us a response.
Malvern De Bruyn, thank you so much for your time. Of course, they're the Provincial Secretary of Cosatu here in the Western Cape, Nompu, just telling us what their demands are and tabled in that memorandum which was handed over a short while ago.